roadblocks are gaining some sympathy and adherence. For instance, the proliferation of illegal small-scale mining has given legitimate and responsible mining a bad name. Small-scale mining operators should be required to adhere to the same stringent environment standards imposed on us large-scale miners. Small-scale miners should likewise pay excise taxes and other taxes and fees. Moreover, the entire permitting process, regulation, control, and supervision of small-scale miners should be given to the DENR instead of the local government units, which do not have the technical competence to deal with fiscal and environmental issues related to mining, aside from the fact that there are too many issues of conflict of interest. After more than 10 years since its enactment, the Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act may have to be revisited. Of particular concern is how the since time immemorial standards, this is the words under the law, are being used in this accreditation of indigenous peoples and how ancestral lands and ancestral domains are identified and delineated. This may also be an opportune time to question the ownership concept of the IPRA law versus the Regalian doctrine as enshrined in our Philippine Constitution. We also recommend that the NCIP be educated formally on mining to give them a better understanding and appreciation of the industry. The 2 to 3 year delay in the remittance of the LGUs of their respective shares in the excise tax from minerals has for many years now been a cause for concern of local officials, and therefore one of the main reasons why the industry isn't getting much support from LGUs. This explains the skeptical attitude of some LGU officials towards the mining industry and their inability to fully appreciate the benefits brought by mining operation in their areas. Ironically, the economic benefits of LGUs from small-scale mining are readily available because it's the LGUs that issue the small-scale mining permits. So again, this is an issue for the national government to reconcile. An opinion on the ban on open pit mining in South Cotabato has been rendered by the Department of Justice, as well as the DNR, and even when existing, the Minerals Development Council, and has been given to all LGUs. Decisive action as to which law will prevail, national laws or local legislation, in order to bring an end to provincial ordinances that contradict and defy the national laws and damage this confidence is really needed. As contractors of the Philippine government, we mining companies, the FTA and MPSA holders, should be helped by government in communicating with stakeholders. Responsible mining as an essential industry and human undertaking must be given emphasis in earth and social science subjects in elementary and high school. Instead, the no to mining is actually getting more voice by school teachers and principals to the students in the department, in the public schools and in the private schools. So an informed citizenry, or in this case what we're suffering from, a misinformed citizenry, needs to better grasp mining-related issues so that they can distinguish between reality and propaganda. Well, the recent NPA attack on these 3 responsible mining operations in Surigao is a good indication that the industry has been a victim by trial by publicity, with the communist insurgents as prosecutor, judge, juror, and executioner. Media must learn to distinguish between good miners from bad miners. I'm glad we have some media friends here. We in the Chamber of Mines submit that we share the same advocacy with the Palawan movement on the item of the advancement of responsible mining. In fact, we challenge the proponents of the Palawan movement to change the name of No to Mining in Palawan to No to Irresponsible Mining in Palawan. If they do that, I will personally be the first to sign the no to irresponsible mining in Palawan movement so that we can help reach the 10 million target. But again, it is no to irresponsible mining. Allow me to talk about a topic of related importance. There is a misconception, even among some cabinet members, that a large percentage of the total land area of the Philippines, of 30 million hectares, will eventually be mined. I'm not going to tell you which ones. This is because the tenement maps of the Mines Geosciences Bureau show that 12 to 14 million hectares of the total land area have been covered by applications for exploration permits or for mineral agreements, and that the anti-mining NGOs claim and warn the public that all these areas will be mined. Also, I would like to state that there are some cabinet members that think that just because you've been issued an MPSA doesn't mean you can start mining tomorrow. But unfortunately, even government doesn't seem to know its own regulation. While 40 to 47% of the country's land mass is indeed covered by such applications, the footprint of the 30 operating mining projects nationwide is really only 60,000 hectares, but could be increased by another 30,000 hectares in the 5 to 10 years. Or another way of looking at it as 0.2% of the total land mass. By comparison, this 60,000 hectares is only 36% of the land area of Quezon City. This widely held view that all areas covered by mining applications will eventually be mined should be corrected immediately. International industry figures indicate that out of 25,000 prospective mining projects, only 500 get to be drilled, of which only one will actually be mined. But most people don't seem to understand the non-recourse risk that mining companies have to undertake in putting a mining project forward. The statistics in the Philippines are even more discouraging, with only one mine getting developed for every 1,000 to 5,000 prospects. This is because not all mineral deposits may be mined properly and economically, depending on the geological setting in the area. Thus, it is often the case that after spending millions of dollars for exploration drilling and for detailed exploration drilling, a prospect is not pursued for not being feasible for one reason or another. The decision to proceed to mine development stage may be reached only upon the completion of a bankable feasibility study, and sometimes not even that. And this takes, as you know, some 10 to 15 years from exploration. Many of those who oppose mining say there is no such thing as responsible mining. I've been hearing that more and more. Now, we in the Chamber submit that responsible mining is possible, that in fact it is happening all over the country today. Mining firms today, especially the member companies of the Chamber of Mines, I must say, consciously and purposely strive to obtain the ideals of responsible mining towards sustainable development of their host communities. These companies now have a more systematic planning of community and development projects, as well as various environmental concerns. Their commitment can be gleaned from their transparent consultations and communications with host communities, promotions and respect and fulfillment of the rights of indigenous peoples, our genuine contribution to host and impact communities' lives and well-being, even employment of various members of the community. Our National Minerals Development Policy emphasizes 3 parameters of responsible mining: economic growth, social equity, and environment protection. We at the Chamber have added a 4th, good governance. Companies who operate within these parameters should be given a chance to flourish and contribute to the attainment of our nation's goals. The Philippine Mining Act and the Minerals Development Policy are compelling considerations that provide our country and our people the opportunity to meet the needs of the present generation while creating resources that will help future generations meet their own needs. Without I hope and dare say, bankrupting the environment. In the pursuit of projects, mining companies should uphold human rights. The benefits of mining should always be felt. Mining firms, as you know, should remain committed to the continuous improvement of the environment and the health and safety of our communities. Ladies and gentlemen, there really is no shortcut. There should be no corruption. And we actually want to ask you, when you experience shakedowns, extortion of any kind, we would like to ask your assistance in providing confidential information to us so that we could help provide the necessary action to be taken. Overall, the mining industry can act as a catalyst for strengthening the country's economic base. It is a lever that can induce greater economic, social, and cultural development. It can increase revenues, thereby reducing the country's budget deficit. It can also generate substantially increase exports and increase foreign exchange reserves. Likewise, it can help provide jobs and prevent the exodus of job seekers without affecting the very fabric of the social system, families. Ultimately, it will help reduce poverty that remains to be the greatest challenge of government. This is the challenge of responsible mining, which we at the Chamber of Mines advocate. We will build on the success of the mining Philippines and work towards overcoming the various challenges that we face. In the end, we hope that the rich man who made wise use of his pot of gold. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said in the beginning, we remain undaunted, undeterred, despite harassment, despite violence inflicted on our companies and our industry members. We remain your champion for responsible mining in our country today. Thank you very much.
Philip, what would you say are the three most important positive developments in the mining industry today? So, Philip, what do you believe are the three most important things that government needs to do to generate greater confidence in investing in the Philippine mining industry? I guess that's, in effect, you're going to summarize a few of the key points you've made in your presentation.
Okay, actually I can think of one positive development, and actually that is, industry actually has come together, and we actually now are working very closely, cohesively. We are working better in an orchestrated manner. We are also better. We're now better equipped to have the right people working for us for industry, and importantly, we have the support of the industry members. So I think that's one of the most positive developments to date. So to that, I congratulate all of you. Give yourself a round of applause. Because, gentlemen, and I want to emphasize that, government is really, in many ways, still in a quandary.